The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. After our first Dupe Dream and Vintage Story, we came back to Oxygen Not Included. We then used our rockets to go to different asteroids. We went to a water-filled asteroid, a lava-filled asteroid, and we also went to a frozen asteroid to get our final crop. After going back and forth multiple times from the water and lava asteroids, we made our last and final endgame materials. While doing this, we also finished upgrading our main base, and also found both the Temporal Terror Opener and the Temporal Terror. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Timberborn.
So in the last stream, we started building up this area. We are filling in the ground here and moving stuff around. We are, for some reason, struggling on keeping people, or I guess I should say beavers. We started using these green pods over here, which do adult beavers as a product. The purple ones over here, they give us baby beavers, which we then have to wait to grow up to get into a job. But the ones over here give us adult beavers that immediately start working. So I'm trying to use them as a more efficient thing, but it seems like I need more of these than the baby beaver ones, because we're struggling to keep above our workforce. And in the top left corner, it tells us how many beavers are currently working, how many jobs are empty, and then how many beavers don't have jobs. And we were keeping 100% of our jobs filled, and now we're not. So I don't know. Another thing I am going to be doing at some point is changing this scene to where the game is the entire scene, but I'm not too sure yet on if I want chat being viewed on YouTube. So when I figure out something to do with that later on, we'll do it. You guys will see it immediately. I won't even tell you that it's going to happen. I'll just do it off stream. We're also starting to do this stuff. We've been dynamiting everything. This is the last bit of dynamite that we need on this portion of the island here. We do have to blast this down at least one layer, except for this little pillar there. And we're filling in the low part so that we can have this all in one layer. We did also raise the water, so we have not ran out of water for a while now. And we also started blocking off this end of the map so that if the water seep does make more than one tile of height of water, it will fill this up, which will be the same height as this water, and then that will overtop into this area and follow this canyon down here all the way off the side of the map. Once we take care of all this bad water, we are going to be raising the water level up here so that it matches everything else. And we're also going to be doing the same thing over on this end once we can block this off, which is bad water source. We blocked off the second of 3 sources right here. We have the ability of opening it whenever we want. We also put one of those caps on this one and have it set to being open so that it is always running, even during droughts. So now we have a constant amount of power, and we're slowly adding to it to then not need this. Right now, apparently we do need another water wheel because we're not keeping up with the amount of power that we need now. I also tried doing a bunch of automation for keeping this running at a correct time, and it just did not work out. I don't know what about the automation I was not understanding, but things were not working. So anyway, let's go into ×3 speed. I think I want to prioritize a couple of these just so I can get another wheel in here. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, get rid of this. We want to put that staircase right here. And we also want to get this built in so we can get to it. I might as well put the whole thing in now. Okay, and now I just want to get the stuff in that we are going to require for us to build one more wheel, which is going to be, I guess, this whole thing, because it is one big thing. Also do that. Do this and this. I think that's everything that needs to be built for us to put in one more wheel. Now I meant to put this all on normal, not fast. So let's relower that. They don't need to do it right now. They probably are, but they didn't need to do it immediately. They are also building in the Beaverbot factories and stuff, so hopefully we can get that done at some point in the future. It does take a lot of metal blocks, which is something that we are lacking on building. I think we started building another... Yes, we did, but we never got around to finishing that, or even starting to build it. It is on a higher priority job. Let's tell them to focus on building this so that we can hopefully get more faster. We also do have a lot of dynamite, so I'm thinking about high prioritizing some of these, like this whole section and this whole section. And they are very quickly, it seems, getting this done, unless they were just finishing off this. Not actually sure now. Oh, we need a staircase here so they can do the middle. We're gonna put this back. Oh, that's not the right one. I'm gonna put this right here. Tell them to build that. That will allow them to get down here. Speaking of which, need to get rid of these. I also need that to stay out. There we go. Now, we're also getting a lot of errors saying that people are hungry or thirsty. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm gonna guess that they are the people that were building the stuff way out here, and they were just too far away. Because other than that, I have no idea why they're doing that. Because we have more than enough food. This is all the edible foods that they can eat. These are all ingredients, but next to it is all the edible foods. We also have a lot of water. We have almost 600 things of water by the end of the day, so I don't know what's going on there. They did, however, put in a lot of the dynamite, and I think they need more paths in order to reach the rest of the stuff. So let's go like this, and also over here. Like that. I didn't realize it was too far away, and I want them to build all of it before we dynamite some of it. Or detonate some of it, I mean. Now we did start doing this, I just didn't prioritize it. We also started algae farming here. Or we at least placed it down. We're trying to get one of every food. That'll be part of our to-do list done. Being the very first thing on the list being one of everything. Alright, they did everything on this side, so let's detonate all that. Don't know if they're doing these right now. Kind of seems like they're not. But anyway, we're getting close to having that done. Trying to do this is going to be fun. We actually only need... Well, we need a dynamite tier 4, but there's no such thing. So we're going to have to do a dynamite tier 3s on this platform. And then tier 1s down at this level, the same spots. Except for this portion. Is this an overhang? No, just a little bit is. So we'll have to do less dynamite on those overhangs, because I don't think they will dynamite through an air block like that. It would be a good thing to test, but I don't know if it will actually work. So anyway, trying to think if we need to do anything while we're waiting for them to do other stuff. They are still doing this, we just need a few planks. We do have a lot of planks. We also have gears. Gears are getting built up, metal blocks are not, which is why we need another person. And that's just because we're building a lot. Ooh, they added in the next platform already. And that would have been because of the staircase, because I could reach it then. So now they should be working on this. They are, they're adding in logs. They only need 2 more logs. We're also adding in this pillar here. I am debating on starting to build our actual town here. We could add a few decoration things that would help with help with their happiness. We already have a ladder there. So let's put a double platform there. And bring this all the way back here. And then unlock decorations. So if I get the right roof, should be able to extend... Actually, no, we're going to put roofs in the center here. So double platforms all throughout this. And then decorations. Oh yeah, another thing we haven't done in a while is unlocking everything. So I'm going to unlock all well-being if I can. We do have 13k, so I think we can. And then let's do decorations. We need... For every building that the orange blocks touch, the beavers in that building get the bonus. So we only need 2 roofs for 8 buildings. The same thing goes with the lanterns. So I'll put it on the roofs over here. You know, if I move this over... We'll make this look a little symmetrical. We'll put lanterns right there. We do have shrubs. I think we're gonna put the shrubs out here because there's only one way for them to leave the town. So they'll still get their shrub bonus from right there. And let's unlock the rest of the roofs even though we're not using them. Brazier. That's a big field of stuff, so let's put that in here. Beaver bust. We'll put them here next to the braziers. Beaver statues. That almost does all of it. It's one tile away, so we'll just add that next to the statues. A bell. We'll put that out here. We have a decorative clock. Now I am just placing it wherever, but later on when we make things look a little bit better. Why is the stream gauge in here? In decoration. That should have been in water. Ball banner, square banner. You know what? I need to look at a beaver to see what they need as a decoration. So fun. We're not looking at that. We're looking at details. We have a shrub. We have a lantern. We have roof, brazier, bust, statue, bell, decorative clock. So that is again in the order that the beaver is showing. We have shrub, lantern, roof, Pokemon in chat, brazier, beaver bust, beaver statue, beaver bell, and decorative clock. There is a muck in chat. Gino is trying to play poker again in chat. Apparently I have muck, but Gino does not. I think it's because he's been trying to play poker in the middle of stream. Okay. Let's also unlock these, which I can only unlock one of them. Can I unlock any of this? We can unlock the first of the major monuments. So I am going to place that down as well, right here. We're going to line them all up. Well, the first three, we're going to line them up here. We're almost done unlocking everything in science as far as I can tell. So if I go through everything, there should not be any red icons until we get into decoration. Automation. Two things that I'm never going to probably use. And then the monuments. That's awesome. So then the rest of our science will be spent on the Beaverbots because we need to unlock the ability for them to work in certain places. They don't just automatically take over for beavers. I kind of want to make this a wet area. Maybe we should work on getting this completed to get the bad water out of here. It wouldn't take too long to get this one done because all we have to do is go down to this layer or level and then make a chute for it to go out of. I don't know yet. They are getting this done. We do have a drought, but we shouldn't have to worry about too much power drop because of this. This should stop overflowing soon. We might want to change the dam for floodgates. Just so we can stop it from overflowing immediately, rather than it dropping to 0.75 of a height. Are they still doing this? Is that why we're going a little slow? It is. And the water seep did not overfill this, so the water seep does in fact stop when the tile that it is under gets to 0.75 full. So the next thing we're going to test out is what happens when the tile is full of clean water and then a bad tide happens and it switches. Does it overfill the tile because there's now a new liquid? Or does it just not produce the bad water because that tile is full of a liquid already? I'm hearing something in the house. Don't know what's going on down there, but maybe somebody's over. It seems extra quiet here for some reason. They are doing the impermeable floor, so we are getting further away from this, which is where it was originally spilling. It looks like we're going to be ending up spilling on this platform. I should be... No, I need them to finish this before I can put in the wheel. I was gonna say I should be able to put in the wheel now, but I can't. Oh, they put in the last assembler, so let's turn that off. We don't need anyone in there if we can't build the pieces for the Beaverbots yet. It also looks like we have our dynamite storage filled again, so I'm going to come in here and tell them to high prioritize all of these dynamite, just so that we can get that done. I should also figure out how I'm going to place it on the dynamite in this area, so let's do that now. I was in the right spot. There we go. So I want to do the spots where the path is not first, so let's do all of that and then start working this way. Is that as far as it goes? No, it goes a little bit more. Awesome. Should be able to do this entire thing. There we go. Working our way out of here while not destroying the path. Let's go to right there and then do this whole section. And then the same thing right here, and then this whole section. There we go. If they do it the same way that I just placed it in, they should not put dynamite where somebody's going to walk. So they should be working their way out of here rather than working their way into it. On the other hand, something that's good news, I have been noticing our beaver vacancies going down. So we are starting to catch up with the adult beavers. I guess they just took a little bit of a buffer time to catch up. Which should mean that our jobs are getting filled in and we're becoming more efficient in making things. Should. Don't know if it's actually working that way or not. Now they did put in a bunch of dynamite here that I can detonate, so that's good. And they put one right there. Let's do a little boop. Another thing we're going to have to figure out is how we're going to add all of this into our power. And I think what we're going to have to do is put all of these buildings over here temporarily so that they can quickly be connected into power. Now that we have this all dynamited. And then we'll just have to destroy everything over here and replace it after the dirt is put back. Especially right down here, we're gonna want to make this a straight shaft of power. Which we could actually start setting up right now. Because they don't need the staircase to get up here, it's just more quick. Some might say it's more efficient. We'll think about it later on. I do want to make sure that they do certain things first, like getting enough power to survive during a temperate season. How are we already drawing 1700 power when the beavers aren't even in the job places yet? That's crazy. Another reason why I'm doing the dynamite over top of this stuff is while they're doing that, they are getting a backstock of blocks. So this is a win-win situation here. Now they only need to do 2 more dynamite. There they go, we can delete all of that. And just tell them to pick that up. So now this is the entire platform for that area. As I was saying earlier, we want to pull this over here so that we can do a temporary power supply. And then I need to put in how we want the workplaces. So we have 3 sawmills, 2 gear workshops. We'll start with that, because they are in wood. So let's go along with this 3 sawmills, 2 gear workshops. We have, is it this? One of those, are those 4 blocks wide? They are. But luckily the only 2 things that are not 4 blocks long are the 2 that we've already placed in. So everything else is going to be 4 blocks long. Let's do that on the other side of the road here then. So do that. We have then only 3 dynamite, 2 metal, and 2 whatever this is, centrifuges. 2 of those, 2 of these. Centrifuge can fit down here, so that's where we're going to put it. I think it's in science. It is not. Where is centrifuge? It's in water. That seems like a weird thing to put in water. So put them right there. This is temporary. That's why I'm not connecting it into the Beaverbot factory stuff. Should probably work on getting this connected in. So if I just continue this down to there, and then I think the reason why we have it jetted out like this is because of this building. I don't really remember why we did it weirdly like that. So we'll add that in for right now. How are they doing up here? They did get the last thing on the bottom done, so we can put in 1 more wheel. And they shouldn't have any problems. We actually don't need the stuff down here completed yet. I guess I need to click on that. Yeah, all of this stuff we actually don't need done yet. We just need this done. So I'm going to put that on a higher priority. That's the highest to pick everything up. Awesome. They did start putting this in. I'm going to keep pausing the Beaverbot stuff. We don't need that done yet. Right, what is going on with everyone? Why are they all somewhat freaking out that they don't have water and stuff? It's because they're too far away that they have to walk to it? We do have the water down here and the food up there, so maybe it is too far away for them to pathfind to or something. I don't know what else would cause them to do that. They are still doing this. That's good. They can do that as slow as they want. I think we should start figuring out how we're going to get up to this. We were also wondering if this being pumped is affecting the flow. I don't think it is. They've always been around 260 and 270 horsepower. So I don't think that's affecting it by them pumping it out. Maybe it is a little bit. There is a Tangle in chat. That's another Gen 1 Pokemon. We're back to getting a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon in chat. Alright, let's work out our way to get up to here to close this off so we can actually start filling this in. Because if we can get this to drain out completely, then we can block this off and start letting water come in here. And then we only have to worry about making sure it doesn't completely overfill this area. Which it will, because this little canal is already 1 block lower than the height of our regular water, so we would be constantly trying to fill this in. Meaning that if we blocked off over here, it would overtop every single one of these barriers. Which would be below this dam. Meaning I would have to do levees. Actually, not that far. We would need levees right here. Going up 2 blocks to the top of this land. That's not too difficult right there, just 6 levees. And then we would have to put them across this as well. That's the only other access point to the bottom section of the map. Which, again, is not too difficult. This will be time consuming though, because it's a lot of logs. But we can actually use those levees to get over to these levees. Let's put 2 platforms like that. A whole bunch of paths. Right there, and then come through here, and then this. There's a path right there, but is that lower? That is lower. That's not a path. I'm gonna cancel these. So that this can just connect straight into there. But if we do that, this will dry up eventually over time. And we don't have to worry about any of the barriers because they're going to be overfilled anyway. So let's do that stuff and then we'll figure the rest out. We did another one of these. I do think they're getting stuff done efficiently right now. We just built a lot of things that I want them to do all at once. So maybe I turn down the need for that. We don't need the Beaverbots yet. We don't have the infrastructure to build Beaverbots right now. We would be constantly struggling on getting gears and planks if we have the Beaverbots going, so I don't think we need them yet. With that being lowered, they're no, look, they are. I think they are hungry because the food is so far away from their homes. But that's okay. That's going to be changed later on. All of the edible things that they eat is going to be over here with their homes, along with the water. That's another thing we need to move over, is this food production stuff. Which does need to be connected into power. We'll worry about it later. Ooh, they are starting to do the dirt here. That's good. I think I want them to prioritize the power supply stuff. So all of this and all of this. I actually don't need this portion. Let's get rid of those. This won't take too long to do, that's why I want them to do it first. I should still be able to do these two pieces from underneath. And then all of these job places, are they all like high priority? Okay, the two centrifuges are high priority workplaces. The wood production stuff is medium. The planks, I don't think they were. They are. The two extra dynamites are not. The metal workplaces are. So this is medium, this is medium. These two are regular, they also need to be on explosives. And the metal workplaces need to be raised. We're also going to prioritize by haulers. Okay, now they should be getting the power in here done. Which is going to look weird until I start destroying some of it. So once I do this, I'm going to deconstruct all the middle portion. I just needed to put that in. So I have to wait until the next morning. There we go. So now we come in here, we destroy all of this. And then I have to be careful and click on the platform and then destroy all the platform. you can accidentally destroy rubble. So I was trying to be sure that I wouldn't do that. But this will end up being the power spine later on. I'm trying to think of how I want the path to go around here. So we do have the path lining up with this. I think we will just go around this. Meaning I want this dug up right now. We didn't finish that. Alright, they're doing the dirt as fast as they can. Now that they have the first layer, they should be doing the middle portions a lot quicker. They do have to work from left to right because of the way that we have the arrows. How are they doing way out here? Only 2 more levies, so that's pretty good. And this guy's about to bring over the last one. They're not going to build it, I already know, because it's too late at night. But after that, they only have 1 more levy, and then they should be hyper-focused on everything over here. Now, I could get rid of these crazy staircases here. We don't need them anymore. They have this one. Storages for this, I kind of want to move it over to here. Now, we do have these buildings, which I am actually going to move over now before I do the storage. So I want to make sure that we have enough room. So 1, 2, 3. And then we have the oil press for the canola, which I will actually rotate. And then I guess we just put the storage for the canola oil right next to it. So that's a little food processing area, and then these just need to be set. Did I just switch to mushrooms? No, it needs to be mushrooms. That's done. No oil there. And then... I definitely want this done now. And exit that out. Because we could destroy this portion, including this path, build the dirt in there at a high priority, and then just connect the power temporarily from this straight across, just so we can move the food around. Then we can delete everything that's in the water as well. Okay, so this should now all start getting moved over there. Another thing we're gonna need to do, connect a path down this, leading into there, so that we can get rid of just everything that's in this portion. So if I get them to high prioritize that ladder, we can get rid of all these other ladders between these two. Okay. We're not going to be able to make canola oil for a while. We actually do have extra beavers now. We have 4 unemployed beavers. Which is probably why I'm seeing this getting built a little bit quicker. Either that, or it's because they also finished the levees. They did also finish the levees. That's great. I think I'm going to want to high prioritize making this during a drought rather than right now. So I'm going to very low prioritize just the 3 bottom ones. When we get into a drought, I'll high prioritize them. Alright, let's get rid of... Oh, well, there's a drought! What I wanted to do is make sure that this drains out so we don't have to wait for the bad water tide to disappear. Which I probably could... When it turns into a drought, we're going to close this. We're going to lose power, but levees are just logs, so we only have to lose power for a little bit. It won't be too drastic. Alright, let's start destroying everything in here, including our canolas. I then need them to pick up everything. And then I also need to destroy buildings in this area. So I'm going to wait until they get all the debris, which they just did. And then they're going this way through this entire area. And also right here, please. I want this high priority. Actually, no, we want this medium. Because the levees are going to be high priority once the drought starts. And then we just need to add the power in, which I need... Nope, not a single platform. I forgot we raised this up. We actually need a triple platform here. And then we can bring that down right where it is. Actually we can't. This is gonna have to be gone because there is a path right there. So get rid of this log. Power up. Power over. Also, medium priority, all of this. And high priority for picking up all that when they get to it. And medium priority at the building. Oh, they're going for the debris. I'm like, what did they snake on their way in here to get? I wonder what happens if a beaver gets stuck in here and another beaver puts the dirt in. Will the beaver that's stuck then teleport up and become unstuck? I've never done that to see if that would be a thing. It looks like they're focusing on building the canola thing, which is fine. We do have a person in there, it's just not going to be powered for a while. Although they are starting to connect in the power stuff across here. That's pretty good. We are about to start the drought, so what I'm going to do while it's nighttime is high prioritize those three. No, we want to make sure that they that this drains out first. I'm shaking my protein shake. We are in a drought. We're just waiting for this to all drain out. We actually need to close this so that the bad water stops draining out here. And then this can all completely flatten out. We are going to be in a loss of power for a little bit. We shouldn't be out of dirt. Are we out of dirt? I think we are out of dirt. We are, so they're not going to continue doing this until we have the levees built in. How close are we to draining this out completely? I can't see the water level, but it doesn't look that high compared to this. If we did a line through here. So I don't think it's going to take too long for this to be all drained out. You guys can definitely see the fish icon that I was talking about in the last stream now. Come on, water. It's so close to being drained. There we go. Alright, I need these on emergency. We're also going to need to do those two in order to get... Yeah, let's just do all of it. They don't need power to do those, it's just logs. We apparently have power. Oh, because I built this. Oh, and that's put on not temperate weather. Okay, that makes sense. So anytime there's a drought or a bad tide, that turns on. How'd they do over here? Oh, from up top. I was actually confused. Okay, so we are able to get a little bit of stuff done. We just need them to do one more levy. Then we can turn back on the bad tide. Alright, I'm getting ready. Because I think we just need someone to whack it a few times now. Turn that back on. Now this can't overfill. Surprised that this isn't continuing out, but there we go. So it should be going this way. It's gonna spill into here again. There must be clean water mixed in with this, because it should be doing decontamination around this. Or contamination, I mean. Anyway, don't know why I was looking at that to begin with. So now we have the power back in, they should be doing all these. Once they add in the last 3 things of power, I'm going to medium prioritize these so that we can start deconstructing all this power stuff, or food stuff, I mean. You know what, I could just do this now. And then do this on a high priority. There we go. Now, another thing I want to do is make a path that goes straight across from here. So what I'm going to do, so the next step is four pieces of dirt right there. And then high prioritize exploding all of that. Even though that's not in the right order of stuff that we built. Goes there. Straight across there. Can also get rid of all this. Alright, what did they make? They made cassava, soybeans, some mushroom. Okay, so unfortunately, they didn't do the one thing that's left. Which means that I need this on a high priority, because they're probably going to do the dynamite first if we don't. I just need this built. It has everything it needs. So I'm actually going to delete these as they finish one that's finished. Because now they're going to move over to here. Okay, now we're on cleanup crew now. So this is just us cleaning up all of the power we no longer need. That got rid of paths that we need. So I wasn't paying attention. Connect that back in. Get back to this. I think the rest is just the power that's down here on the bottom. So if I grab this. And then grab it again. We get rid of the paths, that's fine. We'll just add them back in. And then we have all of this. which I didn't realize I could destroy from the bottom up. Awesome. And then let's pick up all the debris, of course. Well, now that we have this area, we should probably put the district center over here. I want to look at well-being and see what they need. A few people that are injured, there's people that are hungry, thirsty, and sleepy. Food is a thing. Campfires, we're not getting enough campfires, so we're definitely going to need more of that. And maybe another rooftop terrace would help us. We have 80 out of 100. We have 4 rooftop terraces, so maybe another one will give us that extra 20% that we need. That's in well-being. And then we could place it right here if I get rid of the 2 paths that are on here. And then we also need another campfire too, right? Yeah. I'll put 2 campfires. What else is something that we can work on? Of course, all the decoration stuff. Okay. We might want to flip what we're doing and do the decorations. They did get a bunch of the dynamite done. What's in here? Planks. Did they pick up everything inside the water? No, they didn't. Mostly logs and stuff, so we just have full storages, so we can't do that for. I'm trying to think of what we do next. We could move the builders and the haulers over to here. Probably be a good thing to do. One, two, One. Not enough space. I could put them over here. So we'll move them to be over on that side. High workplace. Low workplace. High workplace. Prioritize. High workplace. Prioritize. Once we have this path in, we should be good to destroy any paths in this area and fill in with dirt. We just need a second option for them to go from the house to down here. Which they actually can't cross the river without doing something right here. So we're gonna have to put, I think, a dirt storage over here or something. You know what? I'll just do this. And because it's only 2 pieces of dirt, I'm gonna high prioritize it. 2 pieces of dirt shouldn't take too long. I think when they finish this path, I'm gonna let them finish doing the dirt that's in this spot. And then I'll tell them to prioritize doing all of the stuff over here, because that should actually increase their work speed and stuff, and their life expectancy. Extend their life expectancy. Okay, we did a majority of the dynamite here. We only have a couple more pieces to do. Let's connect this over. They did all the dynamite right here. Connect that in. I think they did the dirt. They're actually doing the second piece right now, so that shouldn't get shouldn't take too much longer. You know, instead of it going where it currently is, I'm gonna go like this. Delete all of that. Dynamite there is done, so now they just need to put in the dirt blocks, and then that is completed. This is also completed, so now they have a secondary way of getting around here, so we could delete this. No, we can't delete that area. They need the dirt first. And we have that on a medium priority, just like these blocks, so they're probably going to do it after those blocks are finished, which is fine. They only have 2 more before they do those. And with that dirt block, they now have it all completed. So we could destroy this. Now they're forced to go up this way. And then we could get rid of this. Pick up the debris. Get rid of all this. Okay, now that they've done all of that, it does seem like they're focusing on this dirt, which is more than halfway done. Maybe we wait for them to finish that before we start going for something else. Now that we have the dirt here, we can connect the path directly down. Which means that we no longer need this path. And we also don't need this staircase. That's just an efficiency thing. So let's get rid of that. And then add dirt here. I'll make sure that I do all of that dirt before they go somewhere else. Oh, our metal is run out. We need a new metal place. I guess coming across here? We also have had a person sitting here doing nothing for a while. You're full of logs. There's also dynamite right here. So you can get more, it's just we're not using all of it. Let's move this staircase over. And just so we can get those trees taken care of, I will pause these guys. So that we're forced to use the wood from this person. Who is still able to get over here and get these trees. Okay. They're not doing too bad on the dirt. They're almost done. Okay, I was just making sure that it doesn't say that they can't reach any of these. And it looks like they can reach everything, that's fine. But that's perfect, actually. Yeah, I'm curious to see if he's going to grab the wood from up here or not. Before they do anything down here. We are down 4 workers, which should be 4 haulers. Why do they keep saying that they're too thirsty and too hungry? I feel like they're spending a majority of the day just running around trying to get food and water. We're not out of water, but everyone is thirsty. That is concerning. Maybe we do need to focus a little bit on getting the Beaverbots completed. Actually using them. We could turn on just 1 or 2 assemblers, just a third of what we have. Which we actually almost have done, because this makes the chassis, this makes the limbs, this one right here makes the heads. So they're not prioritized by haulers. Set that up. I'm gonna guess that these have to be prioritized. Oh, they already were. Okay. Alright, I am gonna add in a couple more adult beaver things here. So that we can get rid of these 4. So let's high prioritize those beavers. Congrats, Gene, on catching the Dredagon. I know they're having an issue trying to get dirt, but it seems like they're doing this very slowly. If I add a path that goes up to them, that might make things a little bit quicker for them, because they get dirt and then they can just walk straight up there. And now, with this being there, we go like this. And then we go like this. And that's a new power spine going through that. Which will be the way that this gets connected into power. So I'm gonna want a spiral ladder here, and then a mirrored one on this side. There's gonna be dirt block. Platform. Path. And then we're gonna copy that to these 2 pieces here. So that they can get up and around the water wheels that we can't build on. I could alternatively also just move these water wheels over 1 and I guess down 1 so they can go around the water pump. And that would allow us to have our power off the path. And then we just build up and over the power thing, but we won't do that. They only have 1 more dirt block before they start doing other things, and I think I will let them focus on doing the decorations, which they already started building. So we should be getting our well-being going up overnight. We are getting shrubs, lantern, and roof. I don't know what's right here and why they're not picking up. It's planks. They should be able to pick up the planks. I think we're full on planks, and that's why they're not. Okay, are you... You're still full. Hmm. Kinda need you to get this one birch tree so we can put dynamite there. For those that may have missed the last stream, this island that I'm currently working on with the dynamite is going to be one of our tree chopping islands. So this is going to be full of oak trees and tree cutters or lumberjacks. We're getting our islands pretty done, or close to being done. You know, now that I look at the time, they're not doing too bad for today's stream so far. I think we're prioritizing what needs to be done in an efficient way. I'm gonna let them start doing how these get done. I'm gonna pause because I want to make sure that we can watch the water seep, because I don't know what's gonna happen with bad tide. So this should be right now producing bad water. Oh, it is producing bad water. So now, what happens to the water level? Ooh, it does look like it stopped. I don't know if you guys saw that it bounced a little bit in this corner. That is because the water level was a little bit lower just from evaporation, and then this filled it in, and then stopped. Okay, so no matter what liquid is in here, it will never overflow that height. Good to know. Alright, they should be just doing decoration stuff over here. I think that's what the next thing was on the list. So I'm gonna tell them to do all of it. We should probably start telling them to do the production stuff. I might as well tell them to do this as well, so that we can get this power network cut off randomly. They have one statue done. They're getting the bell done. Oh, were they also doing the... What's going on right here? Oh, right, we have our bad watertight stuff coming down this way. I forgot to change this. We just blocked off its only exit. That's why this is all flooded. Alright, chat, we're gonna have to figure out a different way of doing this. Luckily, we have this at a height that it can overflow a different direction, so that's fine. But I think I need to move the bad water stuff coming down this way. No well-being score. Okay, they're cutting down the trees that are up here, but they didn't get this birch tree. Which I think will be the next tree, going at how a circle around this is. Don't know. Our well-being scores are going to keep going up and up as they do more of this stuff up here. Don't know why they're not doing these. Metal scraps. Gotcha, so we have completely run out of metal. Alright, let's cancel all that stuff. Of course, get this back. They did that one piece, so let's get this in and high prioritize the dynamite so that we can build a path straight across here. And then we're going to need a lumberjack out here. We're going to need to... Oh, I already have that set up to be cut. They're not going to be able to cut that tree. And they're not going to be able to dig it up either. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put 2 platforms. This is going to be a spiral ladder or staircase going that way like it is. And then we'll just have to connect this into paths. That should be good. Looks like they cut all the trees up here now. We're also going to need dynamite out here. More well-being going up. I'm guessing that they finished everything over there. And I'm guessing that that bell is gonna ring the end of every workday. We're gonna not play that sound. I don't want to hear that every time the day is done. They're working on the power spine now. Or they were before I told them to do dynamite. Can they reach everything? It says they can, so... If they can't run around the platform or the plateau and get it from the sides, they can get it from this path down here. And this guy should only have one more tree to cut down. That should be the last pine tree that he can get. So we'll have to turn on the other tree cutters, the other lumberjacks. That tide has ended, so this should be switching over soon. This should shut off in a little bit. So we could ignore that. Yep, this now has no trees in range. So I'll do that, and we'll unpause these guys again. The dynamite in here is almost done. They just have to hammer the dynamite a few times. Everything's placed down, they just didn't build it yet. And then this is going to have to be all hyper prioritized as well, so that we can get to this metal. And you know what? I'm going to actually place down a couple dudes over here. To make sure that gets done super quick. So that's all connected in now. The power spine, well, the platforms are almost done. Power network is not, so they still have to put the logs above them. Once they can get across here, they'll have some trees to cut down. We can put in the metal stuff. And then we're one step closer to cutting this off. I'm trying to think, what would be the best way to make sure that this doesn't, like, overflow out here? So we want to block off this height here, which is this height, the one above this. So where's the skinniest? Oh. The skinniest portion that would allow us to flood this area that we could block off would be right here. So we'll wait on that. They only have 2 more platforms to do, and they're doing them very quickly. Somebody just needs to hammer that, and then they're going to be working on the last one. There we go. Are they still doing... They did the power spine, so that's all connected in. We can actually start deconstructing this wherever we want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start prioritizing planks and gears. We'll wait until they're done, and then we'll see what they're going to be working on next. They are doing the dirt over here if we don't prioritize anything. That's good. We don't need them to do that, though. We do have a lot of beavers that don't have jobs. We have 13 unemployed beavers, so I'm going to destroy 2 of these when they are finished. No, we'll do these 2 that are at the end, or at the beginning of their cycle. And we'll see how the unemployed number drops. We do have 2 beavers over here cutting these trees down, so I'm actually going to pause these yet again to make sure that we take the wood from over here first. And although I am going to eventually tell them to cut down every tree that's in this area, I want them to cut down the trees that we're trying to get to down here first. Well-being score of 19, so our beavers should be lasting a lot longer than they have been before. We should be getting our builders over here as well. I'm not sure why we're not getting the builders out here. Maybe because that tree was in the way? Oh no, because I high prioritized these guys. Oh, and I put those buildings in backwards. They're supposed to be facing the other direction. They're supposed to be facing this way. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Which means that I have to reset up their priority. Now they're over here building this. I'm going to tell them to cut down trees in this area, just so that they have something to do while the builders are building. And we're going to keep this path going down. We're also going to need to put a path there for temporary access to get down here. Alright, we have one blank building. So I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, and then no matter what we do, we're going to need to keep one plank in until we build all of this middle section. That's fine. We'll get rid of this one. They should all still have power. We can also get rid of all this extra stuff that we have here. So that's all taken care of. And then, of course, prioritize picking up everything. So we're gonna have an extra plank and an extra gear for a little bit. Oh, we also have to move the storage for the extract. So let's also make it larger and place it right here. We'll build that at the same time as we do the extract building. We have the gear workshop in. This is metal blocks, which are here. Yes. Okay, they have the staircase there. I am going to put at least one metal flag out here so that they can start doing this. The beaver should be coming down here to cut down this section of tree. And I'm actually going to place down all 4. Since they cleared out all the trees. And also a storage. I am waiting for them to cut down the trees so I can put a staircase right here at the end of this path, which they're about to do. We're getting these trees cut down pretty quickly as well. We just need somebody to hammer this. Oh, they didn't finish it, but they got pretty close. That's alright. Now, it's saying that they can't reach over there, which is true. So we are going to move the lumberjacks to being over here. Just like this. And we're also going to get rid of these. Should be able to grab the debris from down there. And these I can get rid of because the lumberjacks are going to be moved over there. So you guys are all done. And let's tell you guys to cut down all of these trees. There we go. So that's going to slowly fill in the water seep so that we don't need that anymore. We have all these. Let's do this next. That is the planks right here. Right? Yes, the treated planks. Might as well also say the centrifuge too, which is metal blocks. That's a lot of metal blocks. I didn't realize that. So as soon as we get metal blocks coming back over here, we're going to be putting them into buildings that are going to take a lot of them. We still have a lot of beavers. So I'm just going to tell them to get rid of both of these. I know they were close to being completed. Kind of just want to get rid of them. I'm pretty happy with how things are progressing. We're almost done. I think by Thursday's stream we might have everything completed. We might have all the dynamite, all the stuff filled in. I think we'll have the production done by the end of today's stream, because we're only halfway in. Especially with us being able to move the production lines over to here. What stuff do I have them prioritize doing? They should just be doing these, as well as picking up debris, so maybe that's what they're taking a little bit longer on doing. This is weird, they're not building. I might want to move the water next to the food, just to make it easier for them to get everything at one time. I am actually going to do that. I also think we should make this a little bit more efficient of a walkway by doing that. Empty those 2 tanks. Okay, they did start building the 3D plank workshop. Well-being score of 20 now. Now we're up to 21. It looks like they're not all getting the shrub. We're also still not getting campfire and rooftop terrace. Then the rest of the stuff is food and fun. The fun stuff we're going to be focusing on after we get our Beaverbots set up and ready. We're still working on other things. Excuse me for yawning. I had a feeling that this tank was going to be emptied very quickly, so I waited here so that we could destroy it. So now the hauler should be taking the water out of these and bringing it all the way over here. We have the treated plank workshop, so let's delete that from over here. They're working on the centrifuges. And this just needs metal parts, which is scrap metal. So let's start them on the dynamite as well. Let's lower that. The drought has started. I just find out this is still filled with bad water. That's how much liquid can just fill in these canals with how deep they were. I will have to be careful not to destroy this dynamite. I can only destroy one dynamite building before we get the metal stuff built in. Oh wow, they're actually getting them done pretty quickly. So we must have had metal parts stockpiled for a long time. Yeah, we actually do. We have 111 metal parts stockpiled currently. And we only need 80 of them. So we're gonna have like an extra 30 metal parts stockpiled afterwards. That's pretty neat. Since I have these being worked on, I should probably have this tank worked on as well. So I'm going to raise that. And it might be smart to get these built in as well. Those are the 2 builders' huts, so we can delete the 2 from down here. We have 1 dynamite building placed in, so let's destroy the only one we can destroy before the metal factories are put in. Nothing to do in range. I'm going to assume that is the lumberjacks. Yes, they are. Or yes, it is. Pick up the debris, please. Oh, pressing all the wrong buttons. Unpause these guys. I can get both. I keep clicking on the path and the tree. There we go. You know what? I might as well just prioritize everything down here because there's not that much left. These take scrap metal, which isn't going to take too long for them to acquire. These take the metal parts, which they're using scrap metal for. This just needs to be hammered. That just needs planks and gears. Now that we know where the power spine is going to be in the future, we can plan our massive production area in this rectangle right here. Which I guess means I didn't have to build this temporary stuff, but anyway. Let's get rid of this path. That's not going to be there. And let's see how many planks I'm going to need to cover all of the bots. Quite a lot of planks. 6, 8, 10, 12 total plank buildings. Let me see how many I can place in this small area. So that would be there, there. We can do the gears along with these here. So we're going to do that. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gears will be facing this way, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gears. And then I need to figure out a way to get the power to them. So I think we may want to just raise the path here to get to everything. So do we not have to keep going up and down? I mean, there would be a stair here, which is going to interrupt that door. So let's actually change how these look. By flipping them. Didn't mean to place that one right where it is. That's not what I'm going to click on. So that's all right there. This would be the only exception place. We don't need to go up that path, so if we take away all this now, we should be fine. And actually, this power spine is going to be moved down a layer, so we are going to have a path going up and over this. Alright, we have one explosive factory done, so we can get rid of both of these. And by explosive factory, I meant metal factory. While that's going on, let's pick up all the debris. And this is looking pretty close to being drained out by one layer. Right as the drought comes back, or ends. That's good timing. Okay, the flow rate is about right here now. So that shouldn't take too long before they open up. Why are these empty? We have a ton of unemployed beavers, and for some reason the water's empty, like we don't have enough haulers. Maybe we don't have enough haulers. Oh wait, no, we have more beavers, so we probably need another pump. Alright, let's do an emergency second, or additional pump. We could also destroy this now, because we have a lot of planks. Probably don't need to be making more. This just takes logs, so that should be done. Yeah, we're gonna cut off this path and make it so that they have to do the platforms to get in here. Which I guess I should also destroy the power spine here. Let's put in the platforms for the path. The only one that's gonna... Actually, this whole thing's gonna matter, so let's do all that.
This is the only way to get to the storages. That should mean that I can delete this path, which means that the gear workshops are going to have to change where their doors are. Yeah, I am about to do something probably stupid. There's only one access point into this area, so we need a temporary secondary access point. So let's build across the river here. And put this here. So that we can get to all of our stuff. Let me find a picture on how many water pumps I have. Do we even have a picture of the water pumps? None visible there. None visible here. I don't even have a picture of where I have the water pumps, so they're probably in the mega dam thing. I don't know where I have the pumps. Okay, I think we have way too many beavers, so I'm gonna pause this after it finishes. Actually, if I assume that they all... are for 10 beavers, I'm gonna do population stuff behind them. It looks like they need a path, but I don't think they do. What did he need? Metal parts. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, we have a secondary way to get over, so what I'm going to do is destroy the power spine that we just placed in. Which is going to cut off our food production for the moment. And that also cut off the path. Ooh, which means that we can't get our builders connected in. Unless I build them in this way. Because they're not going to be able to have a path here. This gets cut off as well. I need path. Stair. And another stair.
we need to high prioritize these 3. No, actually this, not right there. Like that. Because the power is going to go underneath this board. Just like that. Looks a little weird. That's because these buildings are here and they're not going to always be there, so we don't have to worry about this. And then all of this. That's right, I can add the path in down here, and then it's all connected again. And I think I might leave the secondary entrance just so that they have another way to get over here. I want to high prioritize picking up debris. Apparently I can't do that without super prioritizing things I don't want super prioritized. Okay. They're able to get across here now. We're actually going to high prioritize the power spine here. I didn't realize that this is a medium priority. Why did I need a path? Alright, all that automation is going to have to be built over on this side then. Power's all connected in again. We're also starting to work on the builders' huts. Or at least they were for the moment before I started building in on this. These are all going to be global. This is if it's greater than 10. We actually want this if it's less than 10, turn off. No. Yeah.
think I did this right. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then these are going to be automated to population counters. Oh, you're... I think I did this wrong. We don't want automation for this, I don't think. Now I'm thinking about it. I think I just want to pause these. I'm gonna pause 2 and see what happens. But hopefully we can get our population number lowered a little bit. They just finished the second metal workshop, so let's get rid of this one. And then all we're waiting for is the extract stuff to be built. I don't think anyone's died of thirst in a while, right? Yeah, nobody seems to be dying of thirst. I'm thinking about how we're going to be planning out the wood in here. The first I would do to see how many foresters that we would need, and it looks like we're going to need 2 no matter where we have these, because I can't reach the entire island on the flat platform. We have 1 centrifuge done. And they're gonna have the next one done tomorrow, so let's get rid of all of our stuff in here. And pick up all of our debris. We then should probably do this so we can have this completed. And while we're at it, I'm actually going to delete the power setup here. So we'll keep... Actually, we can't keep this because we have to get rid of it to get rid of the stuff below it. Okay, so all of this is just going to go. Nope, I want that gone, this gone, this gone. There's a Wigglytuff in chat if anyone wants a Wigglytuff. Now, I want just the power spine, not the entire thing, but I guess we're taking the entire thing. And then just so we can get that storage, we'll go like this. Right, and then go like that, like this. And then put a power spine back in for the water wheel. And that's all completed. Get all the debris. I didn't get all the debris on the ground. There we go. And that's the final movement of all that stuff. We just need them to finish doing these and the builder's hut. I forgot to check to see if I had Wigglytuff before it escaped. Now we have 30 extra unemployed beavers. So for every 10 beavers we have extra, I'm going to turn off another pod. It's not going to immediately adjust our population, but I want to do it slowly. Make sure that we don't do it, you know, too quickly. Can I have this done now? Because they only have to hit it. Kind of more important than this stuff. There we go. It's done. So Dupe 2 and an unnamed beaver are doing that. Another bad tide starting. They still haven't built these. It's concerning me. I don't see them doing the dynamite, so I don't know why they're not doing these. They definitely can get everything. Do I have them not prioritized? No, they're not high prioritized. That explains it. So they were probably doing something further away that they didn't need to do yet. Possibly the dirt, or trying to get across here. Oh. Don't know what they were doing. But they almost finished this.
Okay, we have one builder's hut. Get rid of this one. We have the other builder's hut. Get rid of this one. They just need to hammer that a couple times, so let's prioritize this stuff too. And high prioritize that. Oh, you're tired. Okay. We're gonna move the district center as the very last thing to get moved. And I shouldn't have put this in with platforms, because this is going to get filled in with dirt. So all this is going to get destroyed again. They could still get down here using that. I need to put dirt here. And high prioritize them putting the dirt in. They did put in the storage, so let's empty this. Then we don't have to come down here anymore, except for getting the debris. I think I am going to put a second hauler's hut. Or hauling post. They emptied this super quick, jeez. Okay, it says not enough space in storage, but it doesn't say that they can't pick it up. So we are still able to grab everything. They'll just empty that out very slowly over time. Now I should be doing these two. This needs to go down to just 2 people. That is this one. And we have the other one completed, so we can get rid of that as well. Okay. We just need to start filling this in. And also over here. So I think I will fill it in going this way. And I'm hoping that the debris gets pushed. It got pushed to right here. So now all the debris is in one spot. Okay. It's not how I expected it to happen, but that honestly works. And then we're probably going to need a path that goes like this. And then we'll connect it this way too, just so that they can reach everything. So now it should say it's too far away, but it doesn't. Well, we can get the debris way over there though. This is where we go like this. Not right there. Okay. That should get picked up over time. Same with this stuff. Which is pretty much all the same things. Once they do that, this is all completed raising wise. We did drop a little bit in population. We went from 30 down to 20. So maybe we go another pod? Because we are getting our population lifespan growing. So they are going to be lasting longer with the same amount of pods. Those at the bottom of the water not high prioritized either? No, they're not. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pause the lumberjacks until we start getting low on wood. Which actually I'm not going to do that because I want them to get the wood from here first. It's 4 logs. I just want them to pick it up. Okay, now they can pause. Why aren't they doing these? Oh, they're way over here. I want you to finish those first, please. This doesn't have to get done anytime soon. I think we might be ready to lower the population again. Or to pause another pod. Yeah, because that's not going down. Let's do one more pod. So now we're down to 4 adult beaver pods out of 9. If I look at the production picture again, it looks like a lot of the production stuff that I have here is all paper related stuff, which is all foxtail things or folktales. I did have 1 dynamite building and 2 smelteries. We have that already built in, but we have 2 smelteries and 3 dynamite. I had 2 centrifuges, which is correct up here, so that's probably fine. If anything, we'd have to increase it after doing the Beaverbots related things. So if we can get this set up, we should be fine. This takes metal planks, or metal blocks. This doesn't... This just takes the body parts, and... we can't see how to make a bot head yet until they build this one building. So I just need to put the centrifuges and random stuff that we're gonna have over here. Alright, so now they should be focused on doing this stuff. And the only reason why this is getting a box is so that when we flood this area and it's a bad tide, the bad water doesn't mix with the flooded water. I was hoping that they would do the staircase first, so let's... Never mind. I was gonna prioritize it, but somebody came over and built it. Right, that's one step closer to our big master plan. I think I want to prioritize getting the dynamite done in this area. So let's do each plateau separately until they get it completed. I do have to keep an eye on how much wood we have. Could tell them to prioritize building this as well. I'll put that on a regular. I did put the stair on the high priority, right? Yes, I did. They're just doing the dynamite first because I guess it's only one item, so they're doing it faster. Either that or it's because I placed the dynamite first and then did the ladder afterwards. Doesn't matter either way because they're doing both now. It does seem like we're getting a storage of water now that we're down to only 20 beavers before, you know, everyone gets thirsty and comes and drinks it all. So we're definitely gonna have to find a different place to put in all of our pumps that will give us more water. And I think... I was gonna say, I think I might put them out here because this is gonna be 3 tiles deep of water. But that's honestly a very far walk from this, so maybe we'll put them up here where this is 2 tiles deep. Or we'll just put it in here where it's 1 tile deep, I don't know. Either way, we'll have to work that out later on. Once we get rid of this island, we could put in our first forester and see how far they can grab stuff from. It looks like they are putting stuff in here, it's just low. Oh, and this is ready to be built. Let's put that back regular, not high priority. Looks like they only have to bring over 2 more dynamite, well, 1 more dynamite. No more dynamites. They just have to hammer them and place them in. Which shouldn't take too long. We need 3 more beavers to come over. 1, 2, 3, that's all 3 of them. Oh, we need 1 more again. There's our last beaver. Detonate all that. Pick this up. Had a feeling there'd be no storage. wood. I think I do want to keep the foresters kind of in the center of this plateau area. So if I go like this, 2 more over, that's the furthest that this can go. We then want to get rid of all unnecessary paths. We want to make sure that beavers can reach it. So the furthest a beaver can be away from that is the same as the forester. We'll put 4 beavers here. We'll put another forester up here with another 4 beavers. We're going to need storage. We're going to need a lot of storage for wood. So I'll double it up being with 2 storages. 1 storage per 2 lumberjacks. Alright, and then this is going to be all oak. Including all the way over to here. And all of this. For right now, at least. I missed a little bit because I couldn't tell that I was there, so let's go like this. And now let's see what they're working on. Beaverbots. I'm going to not pause this. I'm going to pause this one instead. We're going to unpause these 2. And unpause these 2. And see how long it takes us before we get our first Beaverbot. Now our power demand is going to be through the roof. Because we just added 5 buildings to this. But I'm hoping we can get Beaverbots to make themselves and then be the builders so that we can build all night long. Time to prioritize these dynamites. Apparently the forester over here can build or place the trees in over here. Another thing we have to keep in mind is until we get the water in this area, they can't place all the trees, even if we tell them to. So we're not going to have a full tree island over here for a while. We could put double levees in this area. But the easiest way to do that would be just coming down here. We already have a path that would reach all the way over here, so we're going to put a double levee right here. And that's so we can just break the dams and flood this entire area. All we'd have to do is break at least this dam. So what I'm going to do right now is tell them to do this on the medium priority so that the levees down here get done first. Dupe 4 has died of old age. We did drop down to 6 unemployed beavers, so I might want to unpause this now. I keep forgetting to check how much power we have during the day. Pretty soon we should see a fourth icon up here being Beaverbot population. And then we start spending our science on allowing Beaverbots to do the jobs. Oh yeah, power while it's during the day. Our demand is 3,600, making about 1,000 less, so we need at least 4 more power wheels up here. Water wheels, I mean. So we're gonna have to start finishing off the bad tide or bad water. So what I'm gonna do is tell them to do that on a regular priority. That's one step closer to having that done. That should be a higher priority than doing this. Which I actually think I want done beforehand. So that should be the same priority as doing the dynamite. But we have our first 2 Beaverbots. So let's unlock the science for this is 10,000 science to let Beaverbots build themselves. And they're called Iron Bots. So up here on the right is our number of Beaverbots. And now they're going to be continuously building themselves day and night. So just waiting for that to have 3 more. They're getting this side done. It's struggling to know how much water it needs. I think we may be ready to come down here and destroy this. So I'm going to set that up to be done randomly. And hopefully the next time we have a temperate season after a drought or a bad tide, this will start filling in. Now that we have this coming over here, we'll have a way to get to this metal already set up and prepared. We have 2 job places that are not filled in. But when we get 2 more bots, we have a total of 4. We'll be able to switch the beavers out of here. It says that no bots are in here, but there should be bots in there. We have 2 bots. Where are they? Oh, they have no power. Okay, we need to do the power supply stuff. That's new for this. Charging stations. I will put them as far away as I can. Or maybe I should put them over here. I think we'll put them over here. We'll do a total of 12. Planks, gears, metal parts, super easy stuff to build. This just needs 2 more logs. We are gonna have a bad tide soon, so this might need to be finished now. I'll put that 1 levee on a high priority so that we don't refill this with bad tide. That's now done, so we can at least fill in the first layer. But we have to flood this land here. And if we're doing this right, that should increase how much water we have stockpiled during droughts and bad tides so that this will never empty out. This is almost done. They just need 2 more beavers to come over here with wood, since they can only carry 2 at a time. We now have 4 bots, so let's turn this into bots. And then we'll start getting these taken care of. Oh, they need power. I didn't realize that they need power. Those are gonna have to be connected together. These will get connected together when those are done, so let's just turn them on regular priority. Actually, lowered priority, so they're done after those. What else do they need? A tall structure that sends out a signal to nearby bots to boost their performance. And this one, grease factory, a factory that produces slippery grease that makes bot machinery run smoother. And it takes, the control tower takes 3 science per hour. Wow, that does a lot. Yeah, we'll put at least 1 right here. Did we get that levee built in? We did not. We're still waiting for logs. Oh, we're out of logs. That means we picked up all the debris that was all over the ground. So fortunately, we're gonna have a little bit of bad tide in here because I didn't pay attention to the logs. That should be fine. We have 2 bots that are now built, so let's do this. 5,000 signs to let them build their parts. And that unlocks the buildings for every single part factory. So although there's 3 different types of beaver bot parts, you don't have to spend the same signs 3 times. I think once we get the Beaverbot parts being done, we will start doing the, Oh, wait a minute, we have more. Well, now our extra bots are going to go into builders so that they can build at night. Okay, we didn't get too much of bad water spilled out here. This dynamite is also done. So get all of that, and then we need to see... This ends right here. I'm pretty sure another one would cover the entire thing if we do it from here. We won't know for sure until we get the dynamite done, so let's put this on a higher priority here. We finished the levees? We didn't finish them, but we are ready for them to be done. Actually, that's going to be finished right now. I'll wait until the bad tide gets completed before we break this open, because we're going to drain this area if we do it right now. I'd rather not drain that. We do have to fix this area, though, by getting rid of this bad tide stuff. So we're gonna have to spend a lot of time with wood, which I guess is a good reason for us to focus on this as well. They finish all the levees over here? They did. We have another 2 beaver bots, so let's unlock the science for in here. Which means that 2 of these bot factories are not going to have any bots for a little bit. But we are creating bots right now. The assembling factories are being run. They won't make an animation if they don't have enough stuff to do the things. They just take a little long time to do it. Especially since we're only at 50% efficiency with the power. So after we let the water here, we're gonna have to focus on doing bad water leaving this area. This only takes logs, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, now they're able to do all 3 at once. Nice. Our water's doing okay. Could be better, but I think it's because our water pumps or whatever here, it's taking them a long time to fill in the storages. Okay, we have a bot there. We just got the other bot in. So what I'm gonna do now is increase these. For the bots. So that we always have bots being made. Unfortunately, the assemblers here are not being done. Are they almost done this last one? They are. So after that's done, they should be doing the dynamite. And then working on this. Yeah, that levee is done, so that means this water seep is completed. We can now break this open if I wasn't worried about our water level dropping. Because we need that for trees in a different area. But we are about to have our first island completed, even though it's not the one that that I'm most concerned about. We could probably say that the production island is ready. Because we technically have everything completed. This is all of our production. Aside from the extra thing here, the grease factory, which we'll look at that in the future. We're not prevented from having our bots without that, but we would do better with it. How come nobody's come over to these? They're on the same priority, right? Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do those too. They probably can't reach them, now that I'm thinking about it. Now they should be able to get them. Detonate all those. So now we can see if the forester can... Oh, we can't see if the forester can reach everything. Actually, yes, we can. Because we can go off of this. Since it'll reach all the way to this end, we know it'll reach the other end. Or the very edge. So let's go... Right here seems fine. And then just like the other one, 4 foresters, and then 2 storages, which I want that taken care of first. So let's do this and this. Then we wait for the dynamite to be completed. Alright. We have that completed, so we can see that this forester does reach all the way over there. There is a bell sprout in chat. That is another Gen 1 Pokemon.
Alright, so they're almost on that. We can actually tell them to start growing the trees, but I think I want to wait until this is done so I don't have to come back later and add even more. They did surprisingly add in all the trees already. They're only doing the last 3 up here once they come back. Beaverbots, we have an extra 3 bots. So I think I'll turn the next thing of builders into Beaverbots. So that we can continue building things at night faster. Bellsprout escaped. The 3 dynamites that are left, they can probably do from below the staircase, but since they're coming up, I might as well wait. This is the last dynamite that's being placed in right now. Get rid of this as well. And then say hello to the rest of the trees that we need planted. And surprisingly, this forester can run across this to get over to here. Oh, wait. We need to not put 9 trees there, so we can put the storage there. And before I forget, these need to be... prioritized by haulers. And high priority. Those are all correct. Okay, it is now a temperate season, so let's tell them to do these now. Because we should be getting our water soon. Which it just switched over, so this is all filling in. If we can get the stuff destroyed. Which is taking that Beaverbot a long time to do. Then while this is filling in, it'll still fill in down there as well. So there it goes. It will finish filling this in. And then it should overflow. This is actually going to overflow into the bad tide thing up here, which I wasn't expecting. So this is another stage in us completing a task. We did do the Beaverbot switch. So we could take that off the to-do list. Let's actually change that to being flood map or increase water. Let's do max out water. So to-do list has just been updated. We are now flooding this area because we got this up to the next layer. So it's going to fill in this lower portion, which shouldn't go any further than this, and then it's going to flood one more layer. Which shouldn't take too long, but is also not going to be done immediately. It's already about to flood.
should start flooding any second now. There it goes. Well, being high score of 24, 25. Alright, now we're filling in the same height as this. Once that fills in all the way over here, also it's going to flood the metal. Alright, and then once that's filled in, we'll stop gushing water through here. We could destroy this, but I kind of like it being able to be walked across. So we'll leave that there. We're not going to use this island for anything unless we need more wood later on. And I think I need to take a restroom break. So we are going to pause here and go into our beaver back scene. I'll be back in a couple minutes. And we're back, chat. Sorry for that abrupt bathroom break. I try not to do them abruptly, but sometimes you can't help it. So anyway, this is pretty much filled in completely already. They are on their own doing a dynamite over here, which is not going to be filled in completely before we run out. They did add in another thing here, so oh, they finished this. That's why they're doing the dynamite. Okay, can I get them to do all this? One more. I actually wanted that regular, not super high. We need this built in before we can do the middle section. That's why I did that first. You know what? Why am I waiting? Might as well just do all of it on the regular priority thing. Should we place in the rest of this? I think we should now, rather than later. So let's get this right. So right here. And this is going to be different, so we wanted 2 on this portion. And then everything is 6 blocks long. So we'll do that. Grab another one of these. Oh, this is going to be a little bit different than earlier. Another 6. Which carries us to here. And then we're back to doing a double right here. And now we get into complicated stuff, so I don't think I can put a 3. So these are going to have to be 2s with a 2 right there, and then a single here. just so that we can get across. Then over on this side, I think it's this... No, it's actually a 3 and a 1. And then we have issues with trees. So we're gonna have to get over here and cut down all these trees before we can do anything. Do we have a path that gets over here? We have a path that's close by. So let's do that. I don't think I can put a path over top of the barrier blocks. No, I can't, but I can bring a path all the way over here. Let's go like this instead. And something's not right here. These are not the right height. So I need to raise this up by a 2 and put this as a triple. There we go. We could take the wood from right here as well. But I'll focus on this first. Okay, we do have 8 Beaverbots that are not doing anything. Do I make them haulers? Or do I start turning off all these? I think I should start turning them off. So I'm gonna raise the priority of the buildings we need to continue. Oh wait, that's the workplace priority. I thought I was raising this priority. And none of these are high prioritized either. Or following prioritized. Everything should be prioritized by haulers now. And then all we're gonna do is pause these buildings rather than deconstructing them. Because we have these centrifuges here and we don't have the land built over here. And they're still building the trees, or placing in the trees. Alright, they're over here and they already mostly finished the wood. So let's continue placing these down. That needs a 1. This needs 2. Yep, that's looking great so far. And now we're getting to the edge of the map.
Oh, this needs to be 1. I think we have 2 more platforms to build and then we're done. Because I don't think this is going to reach all the way over. Yeah, we need 1 more platform. And then this is 3s? Oh, that was a 4. This is the 3. Alright. So that's the entire platform going all the way across. And I think what I'm gonna do is build a way down here, and then we're just going to build the entire thing and then slowly add power to it over time. So we'll... Ooh, that's actually gonna let water come out here. Actually, no, they should be fine. Because the impermeable floors end here, so the water will overflow right here. So they may get a little... Actually, no, it's mostly builder bots. Beaverbots that are building, I mean. So I don't think we have to worry about that. These aren't connected by power. That was the one thing that we forgot to add in right here. That was not what I meant to delete. Are they even able to get under there? They can't get under there. I am gonna have to delete this so they can get in it. And I can, of course, build through the platform. Why didn't I think of that? Place that back in. I'm gonna need this built so that they can work there. Or so that the power can be connected. We have the 3 Beaverbots working there, so these 3 can be paused. Once they put that in, these will 2 be ready and we can pause these 2. All it needs is 2 more logs. But surprisingly, it says that we have 38 empty beds, but every building is currently being used except for this one. No, it is being used. So I guess they're just not all filled. There is a Butterfree in chat. Now that is a female Butterfree, so you may have seen the male, may not have seen the female. Apparently I have seen the female before though.
Okay, so we're always creating planks and gears until the storage is filled. We are out of wood. So let's turn these into the other two bots we have available. And I'll turn this into a bot too so that we can always have that going. And then we just need these to be completed. Which they're about to turn on, so we should probably start getting this built in. Alright, we also need to tell them to cut all the trees in this area. They should all be already assigned, so that's good. Thing that's not good is where is all of our water going? We may need to get some bots doing the water. So let's switch that over. Apparently we've placed down 5,000 trees during this one playthrough. Yeah, I'll do 2 Beaverbots on that. It says we have 31 bots, but only 30 working and none not working. So I don't know where that one bot has gone. But since it's Beaverbots, they're doing this pretty fast. Now, in the photo, I do have more than these buildings going at once. So we might want to make a hauling and builder area, which could go in here. The largest flat place would be right here if we put some platforms in. Let's see, how many do I have? I think I have 6 haulers and 6 builders, so we'll do that. So starting here. It's 3, 4, 5, 6 hauling posts, and then we can put the builders right next to it because they're going to follow the same scheme. That'll be in the future, which means that we actually don't need these, but we're going to keep them there anyway, just in case we want them in the future. Look at how like half the map is all water and then the other half is just desolate wasteland with a tiny splash of water. Oh, this guy's also done, by the way. We can stop him from having to work over here. Next thing we probably should start planning is getting this all done. And we have a way to get a path through here, so let's do that now. Because I want all of this gone. Actually, let's go from right here. So if we did 4 away from there. I'm going to try to make this be following the curve here, just for looks. So we'll go 4 blocks out, which means I need to get rid of all these. Oh, they just go away because they're all dead. Nice. Except for the trees. The trees don't go away. So we're going to cancel getting rid of the trees. Alright. Well, that makes this a little bit easier to do. Because I can just follow the curve of the land to the right. And that should be enough space for all the bad water from this to go over here. And then when we get to this portion... Actually, that's the edge. And that lines up with this, so we're actually doing that perfectly. We just may need to raise the height of it a little bit. Let's try and get this done. That'll be a little bit less bad water that comes down here. That'll take workers off of this. They're going around this to get to down here, instead of just building this one platform or one levee. No, it kind of looks like we're lacking on gears. So I'm going to add this in and hope that that keeps us afloat. We will be increasing our power network in a little bit. As soon as we get these 2 pieces built in, the platform and the staircase right there will be ready. I have this just placed in so they stop going around. How much power do we need? We're actually going to need to wait until the drought is done, but we have 41, 42. We'll count that as 43,000 horsepower that we need. Each one of these makes 26. So what is 43 minus 20? No, 2.6. 43,000 divided by 260 is 16.5 power wheels. I don't think we have enough space for 16.5. We have 7 now. we might be able to fit in all 16. But then we're also going to be increasing all of our buildings. We still have yet to build everything. Well, no. We are, on the other hand, slowly chopping down the trees that are out here, so we should be okay on wood. Alright, that can be done. I was worried that it was too far away from this path. Also, one of my earbuds died, so we're at 4 hours in. I'm debating on if I want to get a path over to this. Because they'll start building that. And then things are going to flood. I think I do want to get over here and start cutting down the trees at least. Didn't want to do 4. Did want to do 3 though. Cut down all those trees. I'm gonna want a platform to walk across to get up to this ladder or stair. That's gonna get us up to the higher heights of this. And it looks like they're taking the wood from right here and immediately putting it into the levees, which is awesome. That they were smart enough to do that. Well, this will be ready by the next time. Yeah, this will be ready by the time we have a next drought or a next bad tide. Now, why did this dry up? Shouldn't it have emptied out? Or still, it should have stayed full of water. Or maybe it wouldn't have, because this doesn't fill in. I don't know. I thought that would have been with water. Alright, how's this doing? They got another platform, and they should still be working on this platform, which they are. They just need 3 logs, 6 planks. We have both. So it's just a matter of getting them over here. There is a seal in chat if anyone wants a Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm curious on why they haven't done the power in this area.
think this platform is being completed now. Awesome. So now we're just waiting for the impermeable floors. Which are now steamrolling through completing. Means that we can start getting rid of this path. And there goes my other headphones, so I can't hear anything. You guys apparently still can, which is good. One there, one here. They automatically get power, that's great. I want both these high priority because it's just logs and planks and it gives us power. Now, the other thing that we've been working on is dynamite. I think it's safe enough for me to detonate most of this. Yeah. Because I placed it in a smart way that it doesn't cut the path out. I might want more lumberjacks out here. We're also going to need metal soon. Our water is still not doing too good. So I'm going to turn more of this water into being bots. I don't want to do all of them, because I feel like we don't have the capability of sustaining all of them anyway. How far can these reach? They can reach... I don't know why that one can't reach as far as the two on the sides. They can... Where can I put a lumberjack that can reach all of them? Right here. So I'll move the lumberjack stuff here. I think I switched that to Beaverbot, but I don't want to. That path may be close enough for them to start working on that. I'm fine if they do. Oh, they also put in the first monument. Okay, let's do the next one. Speaking of stuff to unlock, we never finished unlocking all of these. Apparently I don't have 700 or 7,500, so we're gonna wait a little bit. Is there a way to know exactly how many I have? Yes, there is. Only it doesn't automatically update it for you. We should have this soon. There we go. Still not going to build it, but we have it. So this will go here. This takes planks and metal parts. Each one takes another thing that is more expensive to make, up to the point where we have this last one, which we're not going to unlock anytime soon. I think we have one of every decoration, except for these banners, which I don't think we need. So we could start going into well-being. We definitely need to get all of the different foods, because we're not doing all the foods yet. But we are working on getting our area prepared for doing all of the foods. So it's not like we aren't trying to get it ready. They got to the end of this, so now they should be working on something else that's more important. They are working on this a little bit. So I am going to get them closer to here because we are going to start working on our mega dam. And this is going to take a while to do, as well as the amount of wood that we're going to need. Because I want to get it to... Well, we at least need to go one more tile higher. Because we need to bottom out at this height anyway. And there's going to be a little bit of flooding issues that happen in here. That's fine. I do want a staircase here, though. So that we can get underneath here. And blast away the debris that's here. I need to figure out what layer this is. Oh, we need to do 2 sets. Okay, let's do this. And let's get this as well. We have a well-being of 26 now. We also have a few beaverbots, so what I'm actually going to do is the temporary things, they're going to be beaverbots. The temporary tree cutting areas, that allows them to get down here, which they're probably going to get stuck at some point. But they are getting rid of the debris that's right here. Which I want to go to 2. Right? Yes, it is 2, and I want to put this down here. So that they can get to the other debris and break that open. That just makes it so that this water source is connected to our river. Just for a visual. Now, although it's going to be flooding in here as they're placing in more stuff, it should not flood over this after a while. It's just trying to figure out what's going on. Paths. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing the flooding animation. There's not more water coming down here. I'm getting worried that they're going to get stuck in here.
So anyway, we are at 4 hours and a quarter. We got a little bit more power. We're probably still not at the right amount. Judging by this, during our temperate season, we're not at 42,000 yet. We still need about 5 more. Maybe only 4 more, now that I'm looking at it, during the temperate season. During the drought, that tide, we're probably going to need more. We are, on the other hand, making this seem more like clean water than dirty water. And once we get across here and start filling this in, we might be able to dam this off and keep clean water in here. That might be something we do. I'm not really worried about them doing this because they actually shouldn't be doing that. Break that off. This battery is 0, so I think we want to turn this on. And it's paused. We'll have to look at that later. I think when they're done doing the shenanigans over here, that is ready to be done, but they didn't build it. Same as this one. And you just locked yourself in there. You're not very smart, Ironbot number 2. I don't know what's going to happen to you as they build around you. Hopefully as they build, they get moved into a corner, or then when they build that block, they get pushed up and out. That's what we're gonna hope for. Too far from district. That's just because they didn't build this yet. What can they reach to? Oh, pretty much where the bot is and nothing further. They can build that, can't build this. Can't build that. So they can build this. It's an odd, because they could build all these. But now they can't. So I guess down here allowed them to get over that far. I'm gonna let them stay stuck there. It is just a bot. Something I want done though is this area because I'm getting tired of seeing it not done. So let's prioritize all of them. They should get done very quickly since the dirt's over here already. That's another thing we should probably switch over is this. Not enough science points. How much science do we need for that? 4,000. Okay. Because this is a high chance of injury workplace, so if we have beaver bots, they can't get hurt. Because they're bots.
And it'll also be getting dirt all day long, or all night long. Alright, our population dropped quite a bit. We're back down to 71, but I think that's a... Actually, it's not a good thing. We're at 15, almost 17 unemployed, or vacant jobs, so we're going to turn on at least one pod. They did more dynamite over here, so let's destroy it. I think they finished everything they could reach over here. Nope. Somehow they're reaching a little bit more, and that bot just moved over to there. Weird. Okay. Alright, this is a good spot, if anything, to take a screenshot and get out of here. So we're going to take a screenshot of right here because it shows off our water, our tree farming island, and the fact that we're starting to get stuff done over there. You can kind of make out that there's a bad tide thing here. Let's get our aqueduct as well. So, screenshot. We're of course going to save the game under Shady Acres Beavers. We're going to quit the desktop. We're going to go into our readout scene and find out who we're going to read out to. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.